going here? Oh dear. Okay. Oh, sorry guys, am I live? Good morning, everybody. This, whoops. Just trying to sort out my little. Oh dear, nearly knocked over my coffee. One of those mornings, guys. Holy moly, what am I doing? Okay, there we go. I think I'm okay there. Just see if got my comments there. Everything's good. What am I going to do? Oh no, I'm right. A little bit close here, just sorting out my screen a little bit, guys. So this is we're back on our Sundays weekly Q&A. Sorry for the last couple of weeks. I just had to change the time there a little bit. A couple of things popped up. I had some internet issues with my little. I've got a new one now, so I've got my little neck gear. This is pretty cool. I had to upgrade because my other one wasn't working very well. I'm out rural, and yeah, but this one's working really well now, so that's really good. So I'll set that little guy there. And a big welcome to all our new members in the group. Lovely to have you in the group. Thank you for joining. This is just for a little quick what we are. We're an Off the Track Thoroughbred educational social learning group. I provide I'm an Off the Track Thoroughbred retrainer, and I am here to help you and guide you along in retraining your Off the Track Thoroughbred. The group is for any, to learn, and also for a place to be able to reach out and for any issues you may be having, for help, for advice. Pop a post up anytime. Share your struggles. You can share your successes. Ask a question. And the group's growing. It's been fantastic this year. It's really started evolving, which is wonderful. It's a learning group as well, so I want to be able to offer the best education that I can for you guys. Also have paid options as well. I have an online course, and I am actually, I have just started a monthly subscription membership. We had a little founding member launch a few weeks ago, and doors are going to open again to that. I'm going to open that next week. I've just been sitting here this morning and working at the program out and doing all the tech stuff like URLs and all this. It's very techy, a big learning curve for this horsey girl here who's finds myself a little bit technically challenged. So anyway, so this is our weekly Q&A. So if you are coming on and you have a question to ask, just pop it in the comments and I will answer it for you, or I'll try to answer it. If not, I will definitely go and find out. I'll do research and be able to help you in any way I can. So normally I have a little bit of a topic that I want to talk about in our Q&As if I don't have a lot of questions. I haven't got a topic today. I've been working on our monthly subscription just this morning, and I thought, I'll just see if any questions pop up. But I thought I would just give you a little bit of a, especially for the new members, of who I am and what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm an Off the Track Thoroughbred retrainer. I've worked full-time with thoroughbred racehorses in racing and after racing when they retire from racing for over 20 years. I think it's going on about nearly 22. I get so lost. I got my first Off the Track Thoroughbred in 1999, and then I started working full-time in the racing industry in 2004 for Gay Waterhouse. So I've pretty much been working full-time in racing. When I say full-time, it's been my main source of income, other than my Off the Track Thoroughbreds and my own horses, and I've done dressage and show jumping and cross country and all of that. But racing has been my avenue. I loved it. I've ridden track work for the 17 and a half years, going on 18 years nearly, and I've recently just retired from track work. So that's where I'm at the moment. So I just wanted to share my direction, because I've been retraining off the track thoroughbreds now for about 10 years, and I've just increasingly progressed and taking clients' horses and that. I'm now sort of changing a little bit of a direction, especially with the coronavirus and how it's affected businesses. I went recovering once again from a track work injury in the end of 2019. So basically Christmas Eve, I had surgery on my shoulder, on this shoulder, my left shoulder. I've already had, I know we're back the front on the videos, I've already had surgery on my right shoulder. So both shoulders have had surgery on from track work injuries. And yeah, so it was a big step. I have tried to retire a couple of times over the last couple of years, I suppose. I'm 52 and riding racehorses, riding track work every day for 17 and a half years. I've had my fair share of injuries. It's very risky. And I think I've come to the stage now where I don't want to continue putting myself, where it's inevitable that you're going to have falls and accidents. And I'm so passionate about off the track thoroughbred welfare, and I've got my own beautiful horses. And I've got this business now, the Off the Track Thoroughbred Success Academy, and really passionate about that. So it's come to the time where I have retired from track work. I'm putting all my energy into the Off the Track Thoroughbred retraining, and online as well. So I've built, so I actually have an online starter course, Kickstart Roadmap to Off the Track Thoroughbred Success. And I have just started a monthly membership subscription. So there's a lot happening. And I'm really excited to be able to offer so much more training for you coming into the new year. Can you believe it's this week? Well, no, next week's Christmas. Like, oh my God, what a crazy year. Crazy year. It's been a big year for me. So yeah, I just thought I'd let you know, for anyone, most of the members here who have been here for a while know who I am, and that I have worked with thoroughbred racehorses in racing for 17 and a half years, and ridden track work daily for all those 17 and a half years, strapped at the races. I've run my own racehorse spelling business, set up my own spelling farm, and adjusted many thoroughbred racehorses. I had that for just over 4 years. I did that, and strapped at the races like so many times. 17 and a half years times how many? I don't know. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands probably, I don't know. And worked in many different stables. Started off in Sydney, as I mentioned, with Gay Waterhouse, and then came up and worked provincial at the Central Coast, Gosford and Wyong, and then moved to the country tracks, Canberra and Queanbeyan. So yeah, I've been worked for many different trainers. And another issue over the time of working in racing and learning so much about thoroughbred racehorses, and riding them for so long, and I have a really deep I have an admiration for them. They're amazing horses. They put up with so much, and they're just such incredible equine athletes. And there's a lot of welfare issues within the racing industry, and as my experience grew over the time, and I've learnt so much, and I've stood up. I mean, I've had to speak out as someone who won't watch horses being abused, but there is some very concerning issues within the racing industry, as there is in other equestrian disciplines. Sport where horses are used, your show jumping, your dressage. There's also a lot of equine welfare issues. I'm just looking at I think my little doggy's wanting to come in. Poppy, do you want to come in? I'll just get my puppy. She's waiting at the door. For some reason, the door's open, but she won't walk in. I have to let her come in. Come on, Pops. You coming in? Come, Poppy. Come on. Come on, you little little fat thing. Come on. There we go. Cool. Beautiful. Ah, sorry guys, just had to let Poppy in. She's a funny little thing. She won't come in, even though the door's open. You're gonna come up? I'll say she can say hello. Poppy, do you want to come up? She always sits on the chair next to me. Come on, my little angel. Oh my golly gosh. Oh, there's your chair. Let's come and say hello. You've been in the videos many times. Look at this little doll. Hey, hello. So Poppy's a little rescue. Oh, she's put on about 15 kilos since she's been with me. She was a skinny little babe. Yeah, she loves the horsies. How old are you? Are you a little about 13, I think? Aren't you? Yeah, they were rescues. So she was a rescue with her sister, Suki. And she's in many of our videos. Little Poppy. I call her Little Legs. Poppy Little Legs. Little Legs, aren't you? And she's so funny. And she gets out there and she barks at the horses. She's a little hooner for someone that's got a bit of arthritis in this foot. I know you've got a little bit of arthritis in this foot. But you love the new life, don't you? Well, you've been with me for a year and a half, 2 years. Okay, she's going to sit on her chair next to her. Oh, dearie me. Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah, so a bit of a change for me as I was going back to my story. So this year, retiring from track work and building, so lots of big plans for this business. And I was just talking about the welfare. So welfare in the racing industry is massive. And recently, another thing that, I actually got put off. So I was sacked from my recent stables. This only happened a few months ago because of speaking up for the welfare of the horses in the stable. And that was, I've got a lot of horses. I actually have 19 of my own horses, which is, I have 17 off the track thoroughbreds and a riding pony, and she's if you're on my page, you would see little Nellie. She's recently founded. She's going good now. She's good. She's off the grass. And I've got Toothless, who's a black paint horse, solid color paint horse who was rescued from Shepmeets. But so other than Toothless and Nellie, all of my horses are off the track thoroughbreds, are all mine. In the past, I have retrained thoroughbreds up and rehomed them. My own horses that I've taken off the track, and also for clients as well. I don't do that anymore. I keep everything all of them that come to me, they stay with me. I tend not to take too many on anymore because of, I just get concerned where they go to, and I love my horses. I get very attached to them. So it's great to be able to retrain and rehome. It's extremely hard. There's a lot of it's extremely hard to rehome off the track thoroughbreds, and because there's so many of them, and I've had a few sort of dodgy issues, but great admiration for anyone that does it. I've chosen now to keep the horses that I have, and instead re-educate everybody. So anyone who takes an off the track thoroughbred on that hasn't been retrained, and even if they have been retrained, but quite often a lot of you guys out there will get a horse straight off the track, and it's like, oh my God, they're stressful, they're anxious, you can't touch them, they pull back. There's so many issues that happen, and it's like, well, what do I do here? And I've seen even if you have a horse that's retrained, unless they actually explain how different off the track thoroughbreds are to other horses, you can still have quite a lot of issues. So that's where I am with everything. Just thought I'd let you know. And being the world going into online, which is fantastic, I love it. Big learning curve the last 2 years. My last track work injury I keep looking wonky. I had, as I said, I had a big plate put. I snapped my collarbone completely in half, and it was popping out, just about popping out my shoulder. And that was in the barriers, putting a horse through the barriers, and once again, it was trainer negligence. There's just so many issues in racing. Not the horse's fault, the trainer's fault. The horse went off in the barriers because the trainer closed the gates on a very green horse that had never been in the barriers before, without my awareness. And she panicked and spat out the back and threw me, and I slammed into the steps and snapped my collarbone in half. You have to be pretty tough to be a track work rider, and love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, I love them so much. I'm so passionate about thoroughbred racehorses. I could just, I can ramble a little bit, so I won't go on to my love of thoroughbred racehorses. But I think having 19 of my own, 19 horses, 17 off the track thoroughbreds, it shows. But so my instead of retraining and moving horses on, I want to educate everybody out there and provide the best education possible using my experience. I have had so many years working with the thoroughbreds, which is a little bit unique. I've noticed compared to other retrainers that quite often do it and they haven't worked in the industry. I find, I know myself, my first off the track thoroughbred that I got. Before I even worked in the industry, I had no idea. I didn't even realize he was different than other horses, and hence because of that, struggled for over 10 years more. Even when I was working in racing, I still struggled because it takes a long while to learn these things. We learn by our failures. We learn by it just takes a long while to develop skills and continual repetition and practice. And like any relationship that you develop, whether it's with a person or it's with an animal, over the years, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And I have that. Luckily, for me, I've got the 17 and a half years of just working with them in the industry, which I find has given me a different perspective than other retrainers. And I want to use that to teach people like yourself about the thoroughbred racehorse and how they are different and what they experience in racing and these stresses, the stressful environment and such high demands that are put on them. And they really are incredible because they put up with so much. I'm going on a little bit of a tangent with that because I was going to tell you why I recently retired from track work, because I spoke out about the welfare in the stable that I was riding for, and that was just this year. I spoke out. The foreman was abusing the horses. We're in the private group here, so I can talk about this. Not mentioning any trainers' names on that, but the stables, and this is not the first stable that I've worked in like this. It was one of the worst though. The stables were filthy. This is a country stable. I mean, these stables that these beautiful racehorses were living in they hadn't literally been cleaned out for months. I'm saying months. I mean, there was manured mold in like droppings that had gone moldy, old hay in there. They had yards off the stables. They were filthy. And I was, it's when you're depending on the money to speak up for, because I have to feed my own horses. You want to, I mean, I can't not say something, but I said something to the trainer. Now the trainer was working at the time all day, so basically the foreman was in charge, and the foreman was not only lazy, the stables were disgusting, but he was abusive to the horses. So this might give you an insight into why sometimes your off the track thoroughbred may be extremely nervous or terrified or fearful. I just had some lovely girls out on the weekend helping me, and Billy, who's come in for work. Now Billy's a lovely he's one of my horses. It's off the track. I haven't retrained him as yet. Done a bit of handling, but one of the young girls, Lara, was handling him, and he pulled back, and she said, "Oh, I don't know what happened." And he's done this to me before. And you can see she went to brush his left-hand side, and he's like terrified. He was actually terrified. Now I know the abuse that happens in the racing. I know the way the ignorance of a lot of the handlers in racing, lack of education. They don't understand horsemanship at all. You know, stable hands, strappers. They quite often are young, or they can be have a lot of issues themselves because you don't need a lot of education to be in racing, or like any other industries, but we're working with sentient beings. We're working with equine athletes and thoroughbreds, and it's I feel like that there needs to be at least some education. I do actually think now that the racing industry is providing some type of certificate that you need before you start working in stables, which is great. It's a great step. I'm not sure if they go into, they probably don't go into equine cognition and ethology and things like that of how horses work, but it's a great step anyway, a step forward. That's only recent, so obviously we're working over the last couple of decades with in the industry. We didn't have that. So going back to the recent stable that I left, the racehorses would come in, and I get so attached to the horses I ride. I get attached to all of them, and you as a track work rider, you're running in and out, and you're going to other stables and things like that. So you quite often don't saddle. You most of the time don't saddle the horses. That they're ready, they're saddled. You get on, you go out, and you come back. So I would be there watching this foreman, or just getting there waiting for him to finish saddling up, and the horse would. So for instance, they'll move around a lot when they're being saddled quite often. Um, they will associate being saddled quite often with pain because most of the time they have ulcers. Now, this foreman, if the horse started moving around, or they might try and kick out a little bit when they're being saddled, for discomfort, ulcers, many reasons. And this particular foreman then would either whack the horse in the head, or knee it in the ribs, and like roar at it. And these horses were that terrified, literally, when they would be let out to come into the tie up to be saddled, they would be shaking. And I was like, I can't handle this. And I actually would say something to him. I said something. I said, do not. I said, if I see you hit a horse one more time, I'm going to report you. And I spoke up. I was, horses weren't being treated. So saw horses, a couple of horses. I was riding quite a few horses there, and the chiropractor would come in and he recommended rehab treatment. That wasn't being followed up. So you're going out on sore horses. Horses that were sore was continued to be worked. And so I started treating the horse, staying back and treating the horses I rode myself. And speaking up about the filthy stables and saying something to the trainer as well as the foreman, and it was just being ignored. And I'm like, oh my god, I just can't handle this. I mean, and then I get so attached to the horses, I just feel horrible leaving them in that situation. So I stayed back and was doing things myself. And then I just got a call a Tuesday afternoon and said, he tried to make an excuse, the trainer, of, the horse, the owner's not paying, so I've told him to take his horses. And I knew it was a lie. And I said, that's not true. The story basically came out, and he said, oh, well, you're picking on the foreman and that. I said, there's full on abuse happening in the stables, and I cannot stand around and watch this. I said, I take my job seriously. I take, equine welfare seriously. And I've mentioned it to you multiple times. So I don't, I always give the trainer a chance. And basically I was sacked because I was speaking up about equine warfare, and I was sacked on the spot, that afternoon. Don't come back in. I just thought, I can't keep going. I don't think it's the right direction. I think it's just a sign that you get to the stage where I can't put up with that anymore. And not only that, I think I've sort of come to the realization after all these years, because I've always been a very brave rider, and saying that, I'm not actually extremely I mean, you have to be brave to ride track work, you really do, but I'm so passionate. So with show jumping and that, I'm not some like, I'm going to go and jump all these things. I have to do everything. I have to repeat things over and over again to build up my confidence and bravery. So, I'm not this brave gung-ho, I'm just going to do anything. It's passion, it's determination, and it's repetition. So when I start my show jumping again, I'm not one of those that's going out there and jumping a meter 10 straight away. I actually will start off over the small jumps again, and build my confidence up. And also, I'm the type of person and trainer that likes to have really good solid foundations and to make sure the horse is confident. But going back to track work, yeah, you have to be brave, but also too, I think the awareness that it's inevitable that I'm going to have another injury, and I can't afford to have another injury, because I could be injured permanently and not even be able to ride, and then not be able to continue with my beautiful horses that I have here, and all the goals that I have with them, and the ambition. So yeah, a little quick update of where I am and why this is important for the group, and that because I'm going to be doing so much more with my the Off The Track Thoroughbred Success Academy. And my my goal is, or I'm already starting to do it, I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee here before it goes too cold. I'm a coffee addict. I love my coffee. My doggies. So my plan is to record. So I've got a range of different Off The Track Thoroughbreds. Some that have recovered from tendon injuries or are still recovering from tendon injuries. Some that have been rescued from, I've got 3 that have been rescued from slaughter. I've got very quiet sort of, I haven't actually got really dulled down ones, but the horse that I've had in for retraining for a client has been a very dulled down, sort of shut down horse. I've got, as I said, I've got 19 of my own horses, and some of them they've been retrained and I've competed on that. Some are still recovering from tendon injuries. Most haven't done much retraining at all. So I've got a mix of everything, and my plan is, and what I'm going to be doing, or what I'm doing now, is to bring my own horses up in their retraining and film the process. So film the process from start to finish, and then offer them to you guys in a paid membership program, as well as free content as well. So a lot of these are going to be part of my online courses, and in the subscription membership, or a free a separate course you can buy, or both, and also the free content that I offer on my YouTube videos and tips and all of that. So that's really where I'm going to be going as a big part of my academy, is you guys being able to watch in real time the process of taking an Off The Track Thoroughbred from start all the way up through my basic foundations, and then up. So once I've done the in-hand work, up to under saddle, and then progress on and on and on, and we can follow them all the way through. So I'm going to do a portfolio on each horse, and I'll talk a little bit about their history, because I know the history of all the horses that I have. I've ridden quite a lot of them in track work, and and film the whole entire process for every individual horse, that you can go and look back on, and learn and apply to your own horses and your own Off The Track Thoroughbreds. And because I have such a variety of different horses, and I've worked with so many thoroughbred race horses, in racing, I can, you might, one horse like Billy, who's never even got to the races yet, he's quite traumatized. I do know the trainer he came from, and I know what happened to him when he retired from racing, so I have an idea of what happened there. So he never even got to the races, because he apparently was a roarer, which is what they call thick in the wind. His breathing's a bit restricted. And then I've got, Off The Track Thoroughbreds that have had a very intensive race career over years and years and years. I've got thoroughbred racehorses that have recovered from tendon injuries. And so it's going to be really exciting to follow this progress. I've also already done I've nearly got about 40 videos now of beautiful Ty, who's the client's horse that I have in. and I've started with Sam, and I've started with Tommy, and a few of them. So yeah, look, let me know. I would love to know what you think of this idea, and if you think this would be something you would be interested in. And yeah, it's just a matter of me becoming the tech savvy guru that I need to be, doing all this video editing and that. It's a big learning curve, and I'm getting there. It takes me ages. Sometimes it takes me 6 hours to edit one like 15-minute video. Like seriously, not so much the, I'm not editing out anything. It's putting I put your little captions in and go out, and yeah, it's just it takes me ages. For some reason I've got to go in, because I'm putting captions on my videos to talk about what I'm doing, and also doing voiceovers. Yeah, so that will speed up, I'm sure, as I get the continual practice. But anyway, I just yeah, so this week's Q&A, I didn't have a question for, no one came in with a question, though I've got a heap of questions. I also wanted to thank everybody who's joined the group with the 3 questions that you answer. Thank you so much for your feedback, because it's really wonderful. I've saved all your questions, and I'm going to go back over all your questions and use that to be able to do topics on and help you with your issues. So once again, a big welcome to all our new members, and please feel free to post anytime in the group. Yeah, and reach out anytime. If you're stuck, reach out. I've also got the guides section at the top of the group. You'll see some areas where you've got guides, topics, members, announcements. So please click on those. In the guide section, I put all my past Q&As in there, as well as my YouTube videos, some really good information on equitation science, which is what I use to retrain and train horses in general. And well, one of the training, so yeah, my retraining process. And what else is in the guides? Some good equine nutrition, and yeah, so please go in there and visit that. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the group, and I will update you on my monthly membership subscription, which is going to reopen again next week. As soon as I just sort this little this tech stuff out, I'll get that up and open again for you guys. So have a lovely day or evening wherever you are in the world. I'll quickly just share, I shared it last week in my live, my branded merchandise. Straighten up. So I love it. And look at the back. Oh, can you see it? I can't see it because I have to turn around, but I love my shirt. So I've got my own branded shirt and everything. Yay. Anyway, have a lovely day or evening wherever you are, and I will see you in the group. And I'll just get Poppy, she can say bye-bye. Oh my god, there you go, Poppy. Say bye-bye. We're getting a haircut this weekend. Hey, we're getting a haircut, aren't we? Because we're fluffy. Yes, and we were out doing the horses yesterday, and it bucketed down like this full-on thunder, lightning, storm, everything. And I've got 6 dogs, and 7. I've got one in spirit with me, my little Laszlo, who passed away recently. My beautiful friends. There's my little Lassie, beautiful blue whippet there with Chrissy and Minnie, my beautiful Lassie Lulu. Very, very sad to lose my Lassie. So I've got 7 dogs, really. I've got 1 in spirit with me, 2 in spirit. I've got Bundy too, but and they all got wet, so I had to come in and hair dry them last night. Hey? So bye-bye. See you guys. See you in the group, and see you for next week's live.